All right, today we are going to be learning 6.5 dividing integers. There's some rules that I want to teach you about this. Anytime, this is the same exact rules that we had whenever we had multiplication, okay, and multiplying integers. Anytime that you have an even number of negative signs, your answer will be?
Positive.
A positive. Okay, so how many negative numbers do you see right there?
2.
There's 2 of them. Is that an even number or an odd number?
Even.
Even. So my answer is going to be positive or negative? It will be positive, okay? And then just look at this like regular. What is 10 divided by 2? 5. So your answer is positive 5. All right, let's look at the next one. Whenever there's an odd number of negative signs, your answer will always be? Negative, okay? How many negative numbers do you see right there?
1.
Only 1, okay? So is my answer going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
It will be negative. And what's 12 divided by 3?
4.
4. So your answer is?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Once again, these are the same exact rules that we had when we multiplied integers. The instructions are asking us to find the quotient. There's one thing that you wrote in red right there. What did you say up there on top on red?
Find your sign first.
Find your sign first. Before you do anything else, before you find the answer, I want you to find the sign first. So let's look at this first one right here. How many negative numbers do you see for problem A?
1.
Only 1. Is 1 an odd or an even number?
Odd.
Anytime you have an odd number of negative numbers, your answer will always be?
Negative.
It will be negative, okay? So, what is 28 divided by 4?
7.
7. So your correct answer is?
Negative 7.
Negative 7. Let's go over here to B. Looking at this right here, how many negative numbers are there? 1. Typically, when there is 1 negative, your answer will be?
Negative.
A negative, okay? Now, what is 0 divided by negative 2?
0.
0. Is there such a thing as a negative 0? No. So what's your answer?
0.
Just plain old 0. Okay, who would like to do the next one for me? Hope, help me out. Is my answer going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. How do you know that?
Because there's 2 negatives and 2 is an even number.
You are correct. There are 2 negatives. 2 is an even number, so the 2 negatives cancel out. They turn into a positive. And Hope, what is 60 divided by 12? Positive 5 is correct. Who wants to do the last one? All right, Michael, help me out. Is my answer going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
It will be positive. Okay, how come it's positive?
Because there are 2 negative signs, 2 is even.
Because there are 2 negative signs, 2 is an even number, and anytime you have an even number of negative signs, your answer will always be positive. And what is 39 divided by 13?
3.
3 is correct. I want you to go ahead and try to do these next 3 examples on your own. Let's see how you did. The first one, 0 divided by negative 13, what's the answer?
0.
0, because anytime you're multiplying or dividing with a 0, your answer will always be 0. Going to problem F, should my answer be negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative. There's only one number here that's negative, so we know my answer will be negative, and the correct answer is?
19.
Negative 19. Very good job. Next up, should my answer be negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative, because there's only one negative number there, so the answer is?
Negative 4.
Negative 4 is correct. Good job, guys. Here's a new idea that I want you to look at. Find the mean. Okay, so we've talked about the mean before. What does the mean mean? The average. What do you have to do to find the average of something?
You add all of them.
You add them all up, and then
You divide.
you divide by the number of numbers that you had in your data set. So the first thing we're going to do is add all of these numbers together, okay? So we're going to do negative 7 plus negative 4 plus negative 7 plus negative 2. So here's how we're going to do this. We're just going to take it one piece at a time. So let's just work from left to right. We're adding negative 7 plus negative 4. Same sign or different sign?
Same sign.
Same sign. Add the numbers, keep the sign. What do you get?
Negative 11.
Negative 11. All right, now all we're going to do with this right here is just bring it down, okay? So now we've also got negative 7 and negative 2. Once again, we're going to just do the first 2 numbers here. Negative 11 minus 7. Add or subtract them.
Add.
Okay, same sign, add and keep. Add the numbers, keep the sign. What do you get?
Negative 18.
Negative 18 is correct. And what do I do with this negative 2?
You
Just bring it down. Okay, so now we're going to add it together. What is negative 18 plus negative 2?
Negative 20.
Negative 20. Is that my answer?
No.
No. If you remember, I'm finding the mean. All I just did was just added them all up. Now I have to find the mean. So I should divide by what number?
4.
Divide by the number 4. Here's why. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers in your data set. So we're going to divide by the number 4. We've talked about how to divide. So how many negative numbers are there?
1.
Only one. Negative 20 divided by 4. Should my answer be negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative. And what's 20 divided by 4?
5.
5. So your answer is negative 5. And that is how you find the mean of something. Let's look at this next problem. So once again, we're finding the mean or finding the average of this data set right here. There is a different way that we could do it. We could do it just like we just did. We could add these two numbers, bring them down, then bring all of those down too. Or we can add things that are like terms. Can you guys figure out what other number is like negative 17?
17.
No.
One of my numbers in that data set.
4.
Negative 4. Why are negative 4 and negative 17 alike?
They're both negative.
Because they're both negative. So we're going to add the negative numbers together. If you added those together, negative 17 plus negative 4, what would you get?
Negative 21.
Negative 21. Do you see any other numbers that are like terms or they're like each other?
5 and 30.
The rest of them. Go ahead and underline the rest of them. Okay, those are all alike because they're all what kind of numbers?
Positive.
Positive. So we're going to be adding those positive numbers together. What is 21 plus 5? 26. And then what's 26 plus 30? 56. Now we have what looks like a regular integer problem. Negative 21 plus 56. Is that a same sign or a different sign? Different sign. What do I have to do? Subtract and take. So what's 56 minus 21?
35.
35. Is that positive or negative? Positive, because you take the sign of the larger number and that 56 was larger than that 21. Am I finished? No, I'm finding the mean. So I have to divide by the number of numbers in my data set, which is how many? 5. What is 35 divided by 5? 7 is correct. All right? So you could do the work like that, or as I said before, when you had negative 17, 21, 5, negative 4, and 30, that was my original data set. If you wanted to, you could add these together like that and bring down 4, and then you just bring everything else down, plus 5, plus negative 4, plus 30. You could bring these ones down now. 4 plus 5 is what? 9, and bring down your minus 4, and bring down your 30. What is, now we'll do this next one. What's 9 minus 4? 5, okay, plus that 30. What is 5 plus 30? 35. And then you can divide by the number of numbers in your data set, okay? How many of you would say that out of those methods, you enjoy the first one better? Okay, how many of you would rather do that second method?
No.
The second one seems like a lot more work. So instead, what would be smart is not to use this method, but to use this one right here, where you're combining the like terms. Number 3 says, evaluate the expression when s equals 16 and t equals negative 5. Remember, these are the ones like we did plug it in, plug it in. So all you're doing, instead of having an s, we're going to replace the s with a what, guys?
16.
A 16. So directly underneath it, I want you to show me what you've plugged in. 16 divided by negative 8. So looking at this one, Matthew, how many negative numbers do I have? 1. So will my answer be positive or negative? It will be negative. And then help me out, Hope. What is 16 divided by negative 8? Negative 2 is correct. Let's go to problem B. We are plugging in the number. Jack, instead of saying negative 4 divided by t, what will I write?
Negative 45 divided by negative 5.
Good job. Divided by negative 5. Always be careful whenever there's negatives up there because sometimes people forget to bring that negative sign down. Addison, I've got 2 negative numbers, so will my answer be positive or negative? It will be a positive. And then Logan, what is 45 divided by 5? 9. Correct. So my answer is going to be positive 9. Now, you do not have to write that positive. You can if you want to, but positive 9 or regular 9 means the same thing. Let's go ahead and do one last example like this. This one is 0 divided by s. So instead of writing 0 divided by s, what will I put?
0 divided by 16.
Good job. And what is 0 divided by 16?
0.
0, because anything divided by 0 always equals 0. All right, let's look at this review problem. What kind of a problem do I have right here on problem A?
A double negative.
A double negative. Do you guys remember what makes something a double negative? Whenever you have two negatives side by side with no number in between the negative signs, that's what makes it a double negative, okay? Addison, what do I do to my double negatives?
You make it a plus sign.
Okay, you turn it into plus signs. Now, this right here is a double negative. Should I turn this guy into a plus sign?
No.
Why not?
They all got two.
Because there's a number in between those two negative signs, okay? So now instead, I want you to actually rewrite. Instead of doing -3 plus 5, we're going to put -3 plus 5. Now this looks like a normal integer problem. Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract and take. Do I have same sign or different sign?
Different.
So what do I do? You add them together. Different sign, add and take, you subtract, okay? Different sign, you subtract and take. So 5 minus 3 is 2. Take the positive, and your answer is 2. I want you guys to do the next one on your own. Who wants to do the next one for me? Problem B. Nick.
Alright, man.
What do you do?
Alright, so it's -4 and a -5. So you add and keep.
Same sign, add and keep.
So it'll be 5 plus 4 is 9. And it'll be -9. So it's the same
You are
sign.
correct. Very good job. Any questions for him? All right, 2 last problems for today. What does it mean when you have a number next to another number with parentheses? You're multiplying. Is this the same rules, same sign, add and keep? It's not. Okay, I want you guys to try problem C and D on your own. What's the first answer?
-30.
-30. Good job, because there was only one negative sign, so you have to keep the negative. If you didn't get that correct, that's okay. Fix it in your notes, okay? Next up, what answer did you get?
+12.
+12, because whenever you have two negatives, that's an even number, so those two negatives will turn into a positive, okay? Today, this is your homework for tonight. As normal, it's just 10 problems. So go ahead and write that down.